prophets of Baal. The background to the Haftorah is that the Novi Eliyahu had fled from Achav and Izebel, and the king and queen of Israel, and they were out to destroy him, to kill him. If they would have found him, they would have killed him. So he flees, and he hides in the desert, and he's supported miraculously. And then God tells him to return to the land of Israel. And he comes back, and there he has the miracle where he revives the dead child. And then finally now, Vayhi Yomim Rabim, it was after many years, Udvar Hashem Hoyo Eliyahu Bashono Hashlishis Lamor, in the third year. So our rabbi say it was the third year of the hunger. A tremendous famine beset the land. A drought, a famine, a hunger, because of their worship of idolatry, because of the behavior of Achav and Izebel, who are two of the most evil people in the Tanakh. And they are searching for Eliyahu. And God appears to Eliyahu and tells him, Lech Eroi al Achav, and go appear to Achav, and I will see to it that there will be rain on the earth. The drought will end. You appear to Achav, and as we'll see, God forces an encounter between the prophets of the Baal and between Eliyahu, and it will result in the end of the drought. Eliyahu goes even though he knows the danger involved. Achav has killed many a person before and will do so afterwards. And the hunger was very strong in Shomron, meaning that the hunger prevailed. The city of Shomron had no food. Achav had a servant, Ovadyahu. This Ovadyahu is the Novi Ovadyahu, the prophet Ovadyahu, who is a righteous and pious man, but who finds himself in a strange situation as being the chief chamberlain of the king Achav. And Achav is a man that he cannot refuse. So clandestinely, he saves prophets. He saved 150 prophets from the sword of Achav. He supported them by himself. He does everything possible, so to speak, to thwart his master, but nevertheless, Achav is his master. So Achav called him in. It says in Tanakh. He was a very great God-fearing person. So again, it's very hard for us to reconcile the fact that he's a very great God-fearing person with the fact that he is the chamberlain in the house of Achav. Some commentaries say that Achav appointed him, and now towards the end of the hunger, because nothing else is working. So he says, well, maybe if we get a righteous person, maybe if we'll bring the religious people in with the government, etc., maybe it'll get better. Unlikely pshat, though. It's hard to know. But that's the situation. The Tanakh tells us that when Izebel executed all the prophets, all the Talmidim of Eliyahu were executed, were killed by a Jewish government. So Ovadyahu took 100 prophets, 100 of the students, and he hid them. 50 in a cave and 50 in another cave. And Lamam lechem v'moyim, and he supported them. He brought them every day that they should have bread and water, that they should be able to survive. So the Tanakh is describing to us the depth of the commitment of Ovadiyahu, that he risked his life, he risked everything in order to save these few prophets that remained after he tried to destroy, uproot completely from the Jewish people any remnants of Torah. When you read the Tanakh, you see that the situation that we find ourselves in is never as bad as we think. And that not only do we have parallel situations, most of the time there have been worse situations. Ayomer Achav el Ovadiyahu. So Achav called in Ovadiyahu. Achav is at his wit's end. Achav is destroyed by the fact that the hunger is continuing. The country is going under. So in war and commerce, Achav is a great man, but no one can make it rain when it doesn't rain. And he is powerless to arrest this natural disaster that is overtaking the Jewish people. So he said, Leich ba'aretz, let us go together and make a tour of this country. El kol meine amayim, let's look at the springs of water. So kol anacholim, and where the rivers used to be. Ulai nimtza chotzir, maybe there is something that's growing. Maybe we haven't exhausted all of our resources. Maybe in the dry riverbed something is growing. There is a crop. Unechaya sus v'feret, and we'll be able to feed our animals, the horses, the donkeys. The horse and the donkeys were necessary for any sort of economic life. The whole country was dependent upon that. And we will not be destroyed, that we won't have any animals left. We don't have any animals left, and we're defenseless. The army is without any transportation or defense, and the commerce can't exist. We will be destroyed completely. So they went on an expedition to search for hidden grain somewhere. So that's what they're going on, right? But God is sending Ovadiyahu. God is sending Ovadiyahu to meet Eliyahu. The only thing is Ovadiyahu doesn't know that, which happens often in life. We often go places, we think we know where we're going and why we're going and what we're going, and God has His purpose, which we are unaware of, and not only unaware of, even when it happens, we don't quite get it. So they divided up the country. You're going to take this city, and I'll take this city. You'll go this direction, I'll go this direction. The king himself went in one direction by himself. You can see how desperate the situation is that the king is going. Ovadiyahu goes the other way. He's going on his own. And as Ovadiyahu goes down the road looking for water and for grain, who does he see? Eliyahu likroso, the prophet Elijah. The Gemara tells us that the prophet Elijah is always a fearsome visage. It's always an experience. That's why Eliyahu likroso. He sees the whole Eliyahu in front of him. And he recognized him, even though he had not seen him for many years. So he bowed to him, he prostrated himself in front of Eliyahu. The Gemara says, wherever Eliyahu came, the Shekhinah came with him. You felt the presence of God. It was that personage. Is this you, my master Eliyahu, my teacher? Eliyahu also shows the effects of the ravages of time and of hunger and of persecution and of wandering. So that's why he asks of him, he said, is that you? Ayomer lo ani, yeah, that's me. Here I am. I have a message for Eliyahu. Is not ever given to pleasant conversation. Pleasantries. Doesn't ask him, how are you? What's doing? Nothing. The measured word. Go find your master and tell him Eliyahu wants to see him. Go tell Achav, here is Eliyahu. Not even looking for Eliyahu high and low for years. Right? He's got the whole FBI and the CIA looking for him. And all of a sudden he meets Ovadio, meets him on the road, and he tells him to go tell the master. So he doesn't know what Achav's response will be. He said to him, woe to me, what is my sin? What are you doing to me? You're destroying me. You are giving me over in the hands of Achav, he will surely kill me. Why? He explains the situation. Chai Hashem Elokecha, I swear by the Lord your God. So that's also a term of honor, the Lord your God, because he's the Lord and God of Ovadio as well. That's a term of honor to signify that Eliyahu is in closer proximity, so to speak, that he has a more direct relationship. I swear by your God, there is no nation, there's no kingdom, there's no sovereignty in the world that Achav did not send a message there to juicy Eliyahu. Send him back to me, to the Maldive Islands, anywhere, any place anybody was. Send me Eliyahu. And they all said, he's not here. We don't know him. And he made them take an oath that you were not there and that they did not find you. I mean, it's an obsession he's describing to Eliyahu. That the Achav, it's an obsession. Achav has to have him. The Atah, and therefore, Atah Omer, you say to me, now you come and say to me, go tell him Eliyahu is here. Yeah, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to go away from you. I'm going to run to the king. Right? It'll take me a day to get there. I'll catch up to the king. And God's Spirit will lift you up to a place that I know not where you are. You will escape again. God has protected you with a cloak of invisibility. No one can find you. And I know you're not going to stay here and wait to be killed. So then you're toying with me. You just want to make a fool out of Achav. And you're using me as the tool. I will come and I will tell Achav, oh, Eliyahu is waiting for us, on mile post number 182, right, on the Nablus Samaria road, and he'll come below Yimtzacha, and he will not find you. You will have gone. You will have left. And his reaction will be to kill me. In the ancient world, as in the modern world, the messenger who brings bad news is the one that gets it. The solution always is to kill the messenger. And why do you do this to me? He said, I'm a God-fearing man. Min uroi, from my youngest years. I am someone that has been, from my youngest years, a follower of Rabboni Shalom. I've risked my life for him. The Meforshim say that Ovadyahu is either himself was a ger or he's descended from gerim. Ovadyahu was a convert from Edom, from Esau. So that's why he said, "V'avdecho yorei es Hashem in uroi," from my youngest time, from when I came to my own mind. In other words, and I have made the supreme sacrifice to come here. Hello, who got ladoni es asher asisi b'haro gizevel es nevi Hashem? You cannot say that I'm a coward. You cannot say that I am not committed to your cause, that I'm not here to save the Nevi'im. You know, it has undoubtedly been told to you what I did when Izevel wanted to kill the Nevi'ei Hashem. And I hid 100 prophets, 100 people, 50 in each cave, and I gave them bread and water to eat. So you know, have I not earned any credit with you, eliyahu, that you send me on such a suicidal mission? Now, Omer, you say, so calmly, here's eliyahu. And the result will be V'aragoni, and he will kill me. I know my master, I know Achav, I know his temper, I know the way he is. Suicidal for me to continue. Eliyahu says, don't get nervous. Vayomer Eliyahu, Chai Hashem Tzvokos, I swear by the Lord of hosts, Asher Amarti Lefonov, that I have stood before him, meaning that I am his servant, that I'm his representative, that I'm always see myself as standing before him. That's one of the ideas that's basic to a Jew, is that he or she should see himself or herself always as standing before God. Shivisi Hashem lenegdi somit. God always appears before him. I always see that God is there. If a person thinks that God is there, then it's much easier to stay out of trouble. If God is a reality, so then it's just a great aid to inhibition and to self-control. I saw that in an education magazine, that there was a school, I forget where, a school, a major urban school, where they installed the intercom system that you can listen in the classrooms, and the principal also installed closed-circuit TV cameras, but they were all dummies. They weren't hooked up to anywhere, because he couldn't afford the system. And it had a salutary effect immediately, because psychologically, the fact that apparently the students, I know it had the salutary effect on the students, but it did on the teachers. The fact that they felt that they were being observed, could be observed, so then a person behaves in a different fashion, and one is more careful, more considered in his behavior. So that's what he means. Asher amarati lefonov. I have stood before the Lord. I know what it is. I'm committed to the Rabboni Shalom. He is always in front of me. Don't be afraid. I will appear before him today. You have no fears. I'm not going to escape. I'm not running away. I'm going to appear. Okay? So he has Eliyahu's assurance. So Obadyahu proceeds to find Achav, and he told Achav, listen, I didn't find any water and I didn't find any grain, but guess what I found? Look who's coming to dinner. Eliyahu wants to see you. Here he is. So Achav's obsession is that he goes to see Eliyahu, and he doesn't wait for Eliyahu to come to him. He's just obsessed by the man. Achav saw Eliyahu, so he can't hold himself back. So he says to him an awful curse. Is that you? Ocher, the word ocher has many meanings. Here it means all the meanings at one time. Ocher means that you have to stir up the Jewish people, like to pollute, trouble, and the rabble rouser. But ocher means also to turn around. You've turned the Jewish people around. You've reversed their course. And ocher also means the destroyer of Israel. So here it means all three things. I mean, it means all the meanings. He says it, he tells it to him. He also, Achav does not waste any time on pleasantries. He doesn't say, gee, you know where you been. Atos ocher Yisrael. Vayomer, and eliyahu answers him straight. This conversation is dugri, it's straight, without any blandishments. Lo acharti es Yisrael, not me. I am not the cause, you are the cause. Only the reflection of your behavior. Ki mato beis avicha, you and your father's house, you and the descendants of Omri. You are the ones that have polluted the Jewish people. You're the ones that have turned them around. You're the ones that have destroyed them. Va'azovchem es mitzvos Hashem, because you have forsaken God's commandments. Va'atelech achrei haBaalim, and you have pursued the Baal, the idols, the paganism of the cultures of the neighboring Goyim. I didn't do it, you did it. And you want me to prove that you did it? Then I'll prove it to you. Come, let us have a contest. Let's see who's right and who's wrong. Ve'ato shlach kvot zelayas kol Yisrael al har Carmel. Bring the Jewish people to the mountain of Carmel. That's the city of Haifa. By tradition, there is a cave called the Moras Eliyahu, the cave of Elijah, which you can see. It's right on the Carmel Bayom Yavo. The mountain of Carmel descends steeply into the sea, into the Mediterranean, just south of Haifa. And in fact, Haifa is built on the Carmel, 3 levels of the city. And that cave, there's a cave, and that's, by legend, that's the cave of the prophet Elijah, where he hid and where he was nurtured. Whether it is or it isn't, but that's the tradition. And here on the Har Carmel, at the top of the mountain, the contest will take place, and all the people will see, because they'll all have a clear view of the top of the mountain. And they'll see this contest between me and between the Nevi'ei Baal. So gather the Jewish people. Let's see who's right and who's wrong. Ves Nevi'ei Baal arba meos v'chamishim. And bring the prophets of the Baal, the 450 prophets of the Baal. They had prophets that were accredited to the court of the king. So the Baal had 450. Nevi'ei Asherah, which was a different god, a goddess, which was a tree that they worshiped. It really was a goddess of fertility. Arba Meos, another 400. Ochlei Shulchan Izevel, all of whom are supported by the government. All of whom eat every day from the table of your wife, of the queen Izevel. I know that. I know, you just send them all here. So most of the Meforshim say that the 450 Nevi'ei Baal showed up because Achav made them show up. But the other 400 of Nevi'ei Asherah, they beat it because they knew that they weren't going to win the contest with eliyahu, and therefore they escaped. Again, it's very hard for us to put ourselves in the frame of reference of the paganism of that time. But it's obvious that it had a tremendous hold upon people, and that it was not an easy matter to escape from it. Achav is ready for the contest. Achav is going to kill eliyahu, but he was going to kill him because he figures that eliyahu will be defeated by the Nevi'ei Baal. He's assured by the Nevi'ei Baal that they're going to win the contest. And he takes bad advice, Achav. Vayikvot says, HaNevi'im al Har Carmel. And he gathered all the Nevi'im, he ordered them to come to the mountain of Carmel. And he said to them, Achav, Achav, Achav is ready for the contest. Achav is going to kill eliyahu, but he was going to kill him because he figures that eliyahu will be defeated by the Nevi'ei Baal. He's assured by the Nevi'ei Baal that they're going to win the contest. And he takes bad advice, Achav. Vayikvot says, HaNevi'im al Har Carmel. And he gathered all the Nevi'im, he ordered them to come to the mountain of Carmel. Yigash Eliyahu Kolam. Eliyahu has the first speech, and he says this famous words that ring down throughout history. Vayomer ad Mosai atem poschim al shtei asipim. How long will you dance on both thresholds? How long will you dance on both thresholds? Which door do you want to go in? Im Hashem Elokim lechu acharov. If you believe that the Lord is God, then go after Him. Im Baal, and if you believe Baal lechu acharov. But not both together. Now, Eliyahu puts his finger on the problem. The problem is not localized to his time or place or to his generation. And that is that the Jewish people didn't want to give up their belief in God, but they wanted to have a little idolatry too. They wanted to have a little of a culture of the world. They wanted to be what is in essence, just a little pregnant. And that didn't happen for them. And Eliyahu points that out. Eliyahu says you cannot have it. The reason that this is read as the Parsha of Kisisa, as after the Parsha of Kisisa, is because Moshe Rabbeinu's philosophy was the same. That's why Moshe broke the luchos. He said, you want the egel, you want to dance around, it's a free country, you can do whatever you want, but I'm not giving you the luchos without the Torah. Just without the Torah. Now, you should know it's without the Torah. If you know it's without the Torah, so many times in Jewish life, the confusion comes because the prophets of the Baal hold the Torah in their hands. When people are fooled, people make the mistake of identifying themselves with the Torah and not seeing that it's really the Baal that's there. Lo onu ha'om oso dover. He so shocked the people that they could not answer. Before Shem say, not only couldn't they answer him, they weren't sure. Maybe they will go with Baal. Who knows? The people are also beaten to the ground. They're in the middle of a drought. They have nothing to eat. Their families are being destroyed in front of their eyes. They're in the middle of a great disaster. And they're called to make such a great decision, they're not prepared to deal with it. That's almost so dover. They answered him nothing. They had nothing to say. Eliyahu says, I'll show you an even contest. Ani nosarti novi la'Hashem levadi. I am the last prophet alive to God. I'm the only one left. Everybody else been killed. Everybody else is in hiding. Everybody else is gone. I'm the only one left. One poor old broken man. And they are 450 men. So the majority is theirs. But again, even though we are basically a democratic people, we do not decide matters of importance usually by the rule of the majority. Certainly not matters of faith. The majority can be wrong. And if the majority says it's night out when it's day out, so it still is day out. They're 450 and I'm one. Don't worry. Yitlu lanu shnayim parim. Let each side take 2 oxen. Bring 2 oxen. And let them choose whichever ox they want. Because he doesn't want, and they'll say Eliyahu was superstitious, Eliyahu had this ox, he had whichever one they want. And let them cut it up the way they wish. Yasimu ala eitzim, and they should put it on the wood, on the altar. Te'esh lo yasimu, but nobody should light a match. My barbecue. And he asked Sapora Echad, and I will make the other one. Whatever one is left over, I'll do that one. He says here, Sapor Ho'echad. He doesn't say Apor Ho'acher, the other one. He says, do one, because whichever one is left over, that's the one for me, he says. You don't have to worry. And Asati ala eitzim, and I will put them on the fire also. I'll cut it up and put this ox on the fire. Ve'eshlo, on the wood rather, ve'eshlo asim, but I will not light it. There will be no flame. And then we see, Ukrosem b'shem Elohechem, you pray to your God. V'aniekro b'shem Hashem, and I will pray to the Lord. Elohim asher yane bo'esh Elohim, the one that sends down the fire, that's God, okay? You want to see God? Let's see who sends the fire. What do you say to that for a contest? Now, he baited them, he trapped them here. Because if it would be a debate in words, so then they would overcome him. If it would be in anything else, they would be able to overcome him. But now it's out of their hands. He doesn't know that God is going to support him either, eliyahu. Eliyahu takes the chance. We'll see in his final prayer here, he takes the chance. God didn't tell him to do this. The Gemara says this is Hora Shah. He decided. He takes the chance. He's going to risk it all. And he figures that he's got God involved too. You know, sometimes the Jewish people do that. The Jewish people, just as God paints us into a corner, we paint him into a corner also. Leave him also, not too many options. So Vayan Kolom, Vayomru Tov Adover. Good deal. You got it, eliyahu. That's a great contest. Yes, all the necessary drama of the moment. Eliyahu is the paragon of virtue. He is the nicest guy here, right? He treats the Nevi Abal with such respect, the courtesy. He says, you guys pick first. You're the visiting team. You choose whichever one you want, and you do go first. You're the many. You're entitled to be first. I'm one man alone. And call out in the name of your God. Do whatever you have to do. Reach him, you know. Call him long distance. Whatever you have to do. Get a hold of him. But watch out. No cheating. No fire on the altar. So they took it, you know, with the great fanfare, and they slaughtered the ox. And they put it on the altar, Vayikru b'shem Abal me'aboker v'aratzorayim. And they called in all sorts of ritual unto the Baal from early morning until afternoon. Le'mor Abal aneinu. Answer us, O Baal. Here you have the famous Hebrew phrase, Ein kol ve'ein oneh. Not a sound, not an answer. So that went down in Hebrew, in the folk wisdom of the Jewish people, that when you want to say that somebody is unresponsive, that's Ein kol ve'ein oneh. No response whatsoever. No sound, no answer, nothing. So they get desperate. So now they have an acrobatic show. They jumped over the Mizbeach. It was in the afternoon already. Eliyahu was watching them the whole 4 or 5 hours. The old man in the goat skin. You can imagine if you see the picture. Eliyahu began to mock them, made fun of them. The Gemara says, "Kol leitzenusa asura." It's also to make fun generally in the world. You're not allowed to make fun of other people. You're not allowed to make leitzonas. Chutz me'leitzenusa avodah zarah. But to make leitzonas of avodah zarah, that you're allowed to do, because that makes an impression upon people. Vayomer kiru b'kol gadol. Hey, he says, maybe you're not talking loud enough. He doesn't hear you. Ki Elohimu. He's a big God, right? You gotta holler at him. Talking too softly. Ki Shiach. Maybe he's in the middle of a conversation. He's in conference, we would say, right? Can't even get his secretary on the phone. Ki Siglo. Get a hold of him. Get a hold of him. Reach him. If he derechlo, maybe he's out on the road. Maybe today is, he's traveling today. Maybe he's not home. Nobody answers the phone. Maybe he's asleep. He's taking a nap. It's the afternoon in Israel. He's taking a nap. The yikots, if you'll holler loudly enough, he'll wake up. So eliyahu's jibes here, his sarcasm, is because of the ludicrous premise of Avodah Zarah, that stone and wood and metal can somehow become life, can have meaning and understanding and intuition. And they took him seriously because they're desperate. They can't afford to lose, They have to settle up with Achav. Achav's been supporting him all these years, right? You got all these 450 guys on the payroll. And now, they lose the contest. Vayikru b'kol gadol. So they called with a great voice, a loud voice. Vayizgoredu k'mishpatom. And then they cut themselves, as was their custom. The custom of pagans was to tattoo themselves, to cut themselves until blood flowed. They used to do it for the dead. They used to do it when they worshipped God, their gods. Actually, some of it was that they worked themselves into a trance, where they lost all, like the holy rollers. Lose all sense of the body and pain even. And therefore they're able to do that. Today there are people that worship with snakes. Right? They let snakes wrap themselves around them. In the South, that's a popular type of worship. It's a Christian worship, but it's a demon worship with serpents, with snakes, and the snakes drive out the evil spirits. All the nonsense of paganism which has descended till our time. But you have ecstatic worshipers. I mean, basically the I can't get Pat Robertson's name out. The evangelical movement, that type of straight emotional pitch. So that's what they did. So they cut themselves with swords, with daggers, with spears. Until the blood poured from them. And nothing happened. It's all quiet. So now it was getting later in the afternoon. Eliyahu standing there all day watching this. So it was as the afternoon came to an end, Vayisnabu, they began to prophesy. Oh, they see that the God is coming. They started having their trances. And the trance is such, if you want to convince yourself, you can convince yourself of anything. We have that in psychology. Anyone who's taken any courses in abnormal psychology knows that a person can literally convince himself or herself of anything. You have imagined pregnancies, you have imagined sicknesses, you have imagined powers and strengths, all of which are the product of the mind, and many times the mind is diseased. Some people think they can sing. Vayisnabu, so they prophesied. Ad lalosa mincha. Now it was mincha time already. Eliyahu has to daven mincha. Vein kol, vein one, vein kosher. The Tanakh mocks. No one, and there's no sound, there's no answer, ain't koshev, no one's listening. And you can imagine the multitude of the people are also tired. They've been standing there in the hot sun all day, watching all of this go on, and nothing's happening. And the people also are losing their patience. Eliyahu chooses a dramatic moment. He could have done it right away. He could have prayed to God the first thing in the morning. But this is much more impressive. The failure, it's not just the success of Eliyahu that has to make the impression, but it's the failure of Baal that has to make the impression. Because if, let's say they were both successful, so then, it wouldn't, or they were both unsuccessful. So that's it. But in order to win this, so to speak, Eliyahu has to prove to them that Baal is meaningless. There's no such thing as Baal. In effect, to a certain extent, that's our Western society. Everything has to come crashing down before, even then, people don't quite realize. People aren't yet willing to give it a moment's thought. Now it's mincha time. The Gemara says that mincha is the time that a person is answered. The time of Ratzon is the time of mincha. So Eliyahu said to the people, Kshu Elai, come close to me. Forget these guys, let them dance and jump and sing and cut themselves. Forget that. That act is over. Vayikshu kol ha'om elav, and the people came close to him. Vayarape es mizbach Hashem hehorus. First thing he did was repair. Vayarape here means to heal, but in here it means to repair, to fix. The broken altar of God. On the top of the Mount of Carmel, there was an altar that at one time had served as an altar of God. And it had fallen to disuse. In the time of the Beis Hamikdash, it was not allowed to be used. And it had fallen into disrepair, and Eliyahu repairs it. Vayikach Eliyahu shtei mesrei avonim. So everything Eliyahu does is symbolic. It's prophetic. It's meant to impart the message in the action that he does. So Eliyahu took 12 stones, Kemisbar Shiftei B'nai Yaakov, according to the number of the tribes of the sons of Yaakov. In other words, the founders of the Jewish people. So it's a course in return to basics. That the word of God was to Yaakov saying to him, Yisrael Yashmecha, your name is no longer Yaakov, your name is Yisrael, which is the corporate name of the Jewish people. Yaakov is a private name. Yaakov is a person. Israel is a nation. So he took the 12 stones and he arranged them in such a way that they became the altar unto God. And then he dug a trench. Tola is a trench, a trough. Large enough that it could hold 2 measures of seed. In other words, that farmers would be able to plant in it the crop. All around the Mizbeach. And on that Mizbeach, he took and he put the wood. Everything that he does, you have to understand that the drama of the moment. Every step, every movement of his is dramatic. And he's banking that Rabbanu Shalom will answer. Because when you heighten the drama, when you invest this much, if God forbid it doesn't happen, then you are completely bankrupt. Then you are completely not believers. But here he does everything carefully. He establishes the wood on the altar. He lays every piece down. Vayanatach esapor. He takes the ox and slices the meat. Vayosem aloitzim. He puts the meat, the pieces on the wood. Vayomer. And then he says, Milu abor kadi mayim. Let us fill 4 pitchers of water. Now water was the scarcest thing, remember? The Medrash says a spring like appears. for him to have water. See, he says, let us fill these 4 pitchers of water, pour it on the meat and pour it on the wood. So the wood should not be quick to catch fire. People shouldn't say it was spontaneous combustion. It was a hot day. The wood had been in the heat all day. It was in the sun. A spark from the sun. Maybe he had a magnifying glass. That's what started the fire. Eliyahu wants to do it in a fashion that no one will be able to deny what happens here. And therefore he says, make the animal wet, make the wood wet. Vayomer Shnu, put on a second time water. Fill up the 4 pitchers again, spill it out. Vayishnu, and they did so a second time. Vayomer Shaleshu, a third time. Vayishaleshu, and they did it the third time. Now you see what Eliyahu did also. He brought the people into the act. He had them participate, be part of it, because that's called the Schus HaRabim. The Jewish people have a Schus HaRabim. So as great as an individual is, but there are many times that in order for the great drama to unfold, the Rabbim have to participate. If it just remains by the Yochid, it just remains by the individual and not by the many, so then it does not have the effect, so to speak, in heaven that it should. So here, he enlists the aid of the people, and he has them pour the water once, twice, and the third time. So the water that poured off the altar, so it drained, and it formed a pool all around the altar. The altar had a pool of water around it. And he filled also the trench that he dug, was also filled with water. Now we have one of the great prayers in Tanakh, but it's very short. Prayer need not be long to be effective. The Gemara says that we see the power of prayer from Moshe Rabbeinu. He prayed for his sister Miriam. So it says, Keil no, Refor no, Lo. 5 words. And each word 1 syllable. 5 syllables. Keil no, God, please. Refor no, Lo. Please heal her. Well, that's not much of a prayer. But the Talmud learns from that the idea of brevity in prayer. Like God does not like nudniks. So it's the intensity of the communication. And you'll see in all of our prayers, before the introduction of Piyutim came into style, but all the prayers of the Anshe Knesset Agdola, all the prayers that are taken from Tanakh, from Tehillim, etc., you see that brevity is the style, conciseness. Their words are measured. Every word is measured. Every word is chosen. The Anshe Knesset Agdola made the Shmona Esrei. Every word was chosen. Not an extra word, and there's not a word missing. You can't improve on it. That's why we don't have new prayer books. So the Reform are issuing now a new prayer book. Every 5-6 years they issue, because the last one is irrelevant already. The 1938 prayer book of the Hebrew Union College of the congregations, the Reform Congregations of America had a prayer for coal miners in West Virginia, which undoubtedly was pertinent in 1938. But you read it 50 years later, it's an anomaly. What are they talking about? What's for our coal miners? What are they talking about? So today they have prayers, for anti-apartheid. 50 years from now, you read that and say, what are they talking about? The prayers that Chazal were Koveya have a lasting meaning, even if they are put in the idiom of the times. If we say, Elev Arechev, Elev Asusim, these come with horses and with chariots, but we come with the name of the Lord our God, so that has very strong meaning to us, even though we don't have horses and chariots. We understand what the prayer is. The words are well chosen. So here also, Eliyahu is a man, as we have seen, a few words. He's a man of few words to fellow human beings, so he's a man of few words to God also. So when the time of the mincha was departing already, Eliyahu Hanavi came close to the altar and he said, here it's called Eliyahu Hanavi, no more Eliyahu. This is the great Eliyahu, the eternal Eliyahu, this Eliyahu Hanavi who never dies, who comes to see us every Pesach and at every bris. He said, Hashem Elokei Avraham Yitzchak v'Yisrael, the Lord, the God of our fathers, of Avraham, Yitzchak, of Yaakov, of Yisrael. We've been a long way together already. Hayom Yivoda ki ato Elohim b'Yisrael. Today, make known that you're the God of Israel. V'ani avdecha. God, he said, you're the God whether you are or you aren't, whether you make it known or not. But they don't believe that I'm your servant. They think I'm an old crazy man here, wild man, zealot. I'm against the peace process. I'm not for Jewish unity. If we had Eliyahu around today, boy, would they, the times would have a fit. I am your servant. Show them that I'm your servant. And I'm only doing your will. Everything that I have done till now, the drought, all of the struggles have only been at your behest, at your command. I'm not doing it myself. Haneni Hashem Haneni. That's the prayer. 3 words. Answer me, God, answer. So that this people will know that you are God. Even they'll get it. They'll only get it for a minute, but they'll get it. And it's really your fault, God. You have created them. You have turned their hearts backwards. You made man so stupid that he cannot see you. You've turned them around. Try looking in the wrong direction. Children have a game sometimes that they search for hidden treasure or something, right? So the kid is standing right by it, but he's looking the wrong way. Right? No, everybody is laughing, right? That's the stupidity. He's right there. Turn around, Yotz, it's right there. No, he's looking the other side. That's the Torah Sibosa of Liba Machoranis. You've turned their hearts backwards. They don't see you. Hashem, a fire came down from heaven. God's fire, v'atocha v'sa'ola v'sa'etzim v'sa'avonim v'sa'ofa v'sa'mayim asher b'atola lichecha. It consumed the meat, the wood, the stones of the altar, the cement, the dirt, the water that was in the trench, all of it was destroyed in the conflagration. That's a good trick. Very impressive. The people saw it and they prostrated themselves. They fell not out of worship, but they fell from the trauma of seeing it, the shock of it. They all proclaimed, Hashem hu Elokim, Hashem hu Elokim, the Lord is God. The phrase that we say 7 times on Yom Kippurim at the end of Nila. Tomorrow they go back to be the same idiots. That's the tragedy. Tomorrow Yom Kippur is over. That's the weakness of the human condition. But for the instant, Eliyahu was able to silence Achav. He's able to silence the Nevi'ah Abal. He's able to get the Jewish people to say, Hashem hu Elokim, Hashem hu Elokim.